Thank you, Bob. Thank you for those kind words, and I appreciated you giving them exactly the way I wrote them. I would love to say that this is the first time I've been in Tampa, but I've been here many times before.
Welcome to Tampa.
Thank you very much. Most of my experience in Florida tends to be on the East Coast, where New Yorkers go, rather than here where Chicagoans go. But nevertheless, thank you very much. I have one complaint. I have eaten exactly 0 crab claws since getting to Florida. How can that be? The stone crab season is here. This is just unacceptable.
I'll take you to lunch.
Thank you very much. Well, I might take you up on it. Your present mayor just took me to breakfast, although I'm not so sure who paid for that. I got to go back and check. It was great to be in the restaurant. Everybody's crowded, and I said I wasn't going to eat anything, and I inhaled a plate of French toast. But seriously, it's great to be in Tampa Bay, home of the Rays, and also someone who used to spend a lot of time in New York, Derek Jeter. He's from here as well. He was just elected to the Hall of Fame by a unanimous vote, except for one sports writer, clearly from Boston. Actually, the Rays and the Yankees almost played each other in the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, you lost to the Astros, who might have won because of some spying. I don't know who the masterminds were, but President Trump thinks it might have been the Ukrainians. Now, I know you might be surprised to see me here, a New Yorker in Florida in midwinter. It's highly unusual, really. I don't know anybody that's here. And it's true, though, a lot of New Yorkers move here when they retire, so it's only fitting that Donald Trump has already decided to become a permanent resident here. And come November, we're going to make it really permanent. Unfortunately, Donald Trump, for a long time, was the only candidate mounting a real campaign here in Florida. All the other Democratic candidates have been spending most of their time in Iowa and New Hampshire, except for one, me. And I've been campaigning all across the country and in all the big swing states, including Florida, because make no mistake about it, we need to win Florida. And that means we need to nominate someone not only who can win here, but who will win here. And who will win swing states around the country, like Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Ohio, even Arizona and Texas are in play in this day and age. This is just not an election that we can just roll the dice. Last week, a poll came out from Michigan which showed that I'd beat Trump by a bigger margin than anyone else there. And I've only been in the race for 2 months. We are just getting warmed up. And I think I know how to beat Donald Trump, and we're going to show that. I've been traveling all over America, running hard to be the Democratic nominee. And while the other Democrats attack each other, I'm focused on making the case against Donald Trump, because we've just got to beat him. And I believe I'm the best candidate to stand toe-to-toe with him. But thank you. But if someone else should win the nomination, God forbid, I will still do everything I can to defeat Donald Trump. Because, I like that. That's very good. You want to show that to the cameras? Just turn it around so the cameras can see it. It says, "Fire the Liar 2020." We need to be tough enough to take on Donald Trump and smart enough to win. And this really is such an important election. There is so much at stake. We can't afford another 4 years of this, folks. So let me be clear. I am running to defeat Donald Trump. In 2016, at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, I warned that Donald Trump was a dangerous demagogue. In 2018, when I saw the Republican Congress would not hold him accountable, I went to work supporting campaigns that helped elect 21 Democrats to the House. That changed the House from red to blue, and it also put Nancy Pelosi in charge, and that's where impeachment came from. Now, It's time for the Senate to act and remove Trump from office. And if they won't do their jobs, this November, you and I will do our jobs. But to rebuild America, we need more than just a win in November. I'm running to unite this country and to bring people together and to start getting big things done. We've somehow or other lost our way. My whole career, I've been a doer and a problem solver, and I believe we need less talk, less division, less tweeting. I will make you a commitment right now that I've made virtually every time I've given a speech and said the same line about no tweeting. I promise you, if I'm in the White House, no more tweeting. Seriously, this is a campaign for change, for sanity, for honesty, for inclusion, for compassion, for human decency. Here's the America I know, a country that puts working together instead of standing apart, where we can find common ground to expand health care and build a stronger, fairer economy and save our planet. I'm a problem solver. What I do is, did in City Hall, I build teams. I nurture good ideas. That's what I did in my company as well. I hold myself accountable for results. It's how I led a complex, diverse city, and it's how I'll unite and lead this country. Let me share a little bit about my background. I'm a middle-class kid. I worked my way through college. My father made $6,000 the best year of his life. I was lucky enough to succeed, and I built a company and then left it to go and serve as mayor of New York. It was 12 of the best years of my life. Loved every minute of it. And I worked as hard as anybody, I think, has ever worked there. And if it were more than 24 hours in a day, I would have worked harder. I committed myself to causes that I believed in to help build a grassroots movement to pass gun safety legislation, to close dirty coal-fired power plants, to combat climate change. And I've worked tirelessly with organizations to protect equal rights and a woman's right to choose. On all of the big issues, I have a record of reaching across party lines and getting things done, big things done. Not just talking and making promises, not just that, not just pointing fingers. I can tell you, the New York legislature, half of it was Republican, and we got gay marriage passed before anybody had heard it any other place. I know how to work there. We haven't had that kind of cooperation across the aisle from President Trump. We haven't had enough time of him, maybe have enough time of him dividing us by race and by religion. When I was elected mayor of New York just 7 weeks after 9/11, no one believed in the city's future. Our city was in tatters, and we brought people together, though, and said, look, we just have to do something. And New Yorkers came together, and the country came to the help of New York, and the world even came to help of New York. And we decided we were going to improve the whole city, not just down at 9/11. So we created nearly 500,000 jobs. We built 175,000 units of affordable housing. We cut our city's carbon footprint by 13%. We reduced street homelessness by 28%, and we cut the number of people without health insurance by 40%. Thank you. We also improved prenatal and maternity care for mothers and babies. And most importantly, we raised life expectancy by 3 whole years. So if you have friends who you really love and you want them to stay around, I won't say move them out of Tampa, but if you live in any other city, I'd say move them to New York, and on average, they will live 3 more years. All kidding aside, more importantly, or as importantly, is we turned the school system around that had been failing our kids for decades. One of the first things I did was we raised teachers' salaries by 43%. And that helped us raise graduation rates by the same percentage. Now, I know that America is not New York, but I also know that America is ready to get things done. And I'm going to bring people together from all across the country to make it happen. I believe that we can come together once again, that we can find common ground and build a country that we are proud of. Now, I know it won't be easy, but I know we can do it because I've done it before. And unlike anyone else in the race, I have a record of actually beating Donald Trump time after time. I took him and the NRA on over gun safety, and we beat them. We've shown in states around this country that the fight for common sense gun laws like background checks is winnable, and we can get it done for the whole country if we can get to Pennsylvania Avenue. I've taken on Trump and the biggest coal producers, and we've beaten them. We've gone about that while we created jobs in wind and solar power because that's the future. I've taken on Donald Trump in the fight against big tobacco, and we've beaten them there as well. The tobacco and vaping companies are trying to hook another generation of kids, and they have Trump in their pocket. We can't do that. 25% of all high school students say they're vaping already. Just think about that. This is a disaster. But we are starting to beat them in the cities, and we're going to protect our kids across America. The contrast between Donald Trump and I don't think could be any clearer. I'm the un-Trump. He breaks promises, I keep them. He's a climate denier, and I'm an engineer and actually believe in science. Who knew? Imagine that. He tweets, I follow the facts, respect data, and tell the truth. He looks out for the people who inherited their wealth. I'm self-made, and I'm going to spend whatever it takes so that we can beat him this time. Now, people have said to me, but wait, Mike, you talk about Donald Trump being unfit, but when you were mayor, the city gave Trump a contract to operate a golf course. That is true, but he was the only bidder. And running a golf course is the only job that I would hire him for. We can beat Donald Trump this November, but first we have to win the primary. So please, sign our mailing list, get involved, volunteer, call your friends and family, make sure you're registered to vote, and make sure you help people get to the polls. We can win Florida, and if we do, there will be no stopping us. Now let's talk about the general election campaign for a minute. Donald Trump has a campaign strategy: divide the country by attacking the Democratic nominee endlessly and ruthlessly. All he wants to do is scare voters. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. I got a record of doing things. I've got the resources to take on this fight and I've got common sense and positions on health care and jobs and climate. He's on the wrong side of those issues. So let's stay on the offensive and let's win. Now, I have a question for you. Anyone hear the slogan, Mike can get it done? Yes. Well, let me tell you what the it is. As mayor, I expanded health care coverage. As president, I'll build on Obamacare because health care is a right. I created 500,000 jobs in New York. As president, I'll build an economy that delivers good jobs with higher wages. I'll take on the gun lobby and save lives, and stop Trump's assault on women's reproductive rights. As mayor, I held myself accountable for results. As president, I offer common sense plans, and I will get it done. Let me just leave you with one final thought. I've always believed that leadership starts with integrity, and as your president, I will base all of my decisions on values. So if you want quality health insurance for everyone, if you want to combat inequality with fairer taxes and better jobs, if you support my commitment to quality public education no matter what zip code you live in, if you share my belief for opportunity for all and not just for a few, and if you're ready to clean out the Oval Office and get things done, then welcome to Bloomberg 2020. Thank you. Thank you.